Good morning everybody, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Saturday morning. Good morning. It's a bit dull this morning. You can see it's windy because it's blowing my washing on the lying on the balcony, so it's windy. My windmills are going round and round as well. So good morning everyone. I'm here in my flat in Rochester, Kent, England, and at the moment everything is still the same. It is. Two women came out to my flat yesterday. I didn't ask for badges, ID or anything. They said they were from social services. So they asked me loads of questions. They were here for nearly half an hour and then they left. They were early. They were due at 11. They came about 10:15 when I was coming back from walking my dog. One of them looked like a woman I'd had for counselling in Strood a long time ago. Natasha Toms, her name was, and her name was Natasha Toms, the lady I went to get counselling from in Strood. That was about 2015. So we'll see what happens with these two ladies. They came up with some ideas. We'll see if they come to fruition. As with everything in my life, I just wait. If it doesn't happen, I'll just deal with things myself, as I usually do, and so does my mum, and she's nearly 80. So, good morning everybody. Let's start off the day. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and happy birthday to musician and producer Pharrell Williams, who remains scarily ageless.
It's Pharrell Williams' birthday, 'cause I'm happy. Alexa, what's the time please?
Good morning, Crystal. The time is 8:08 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday the 5th of April.
Alexa, what's the weather outlook?
Right now in Rochester, it's 7 degrees Celsius with mostly cloudy skies. Today's forecast has lots of sun, with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 5 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What's black and white and dead all over? A zombie in a tuxedo.
And Alexa, who was born on this day? Alexa, who was born on this day?
Celebrities born on the 5th of April include Sterling K. Brown, Colin Powell, Rashmika Mandanna, Lily James, and Gregory Peck.
Right, so good morning everybody. Like I said, it's Saturday, it's a weekend. It will get warmer towards the afternoon. But at the moment it's a bit chilly. But it will heat up. That's what it did yesterday. So, I've got up this morning and fed my pets, made myself a drink, and I just get on with things. But until things change, then it's just going to be the same for me. And I do not like living here anymore. And that's it. So until I move, it's going to be pretty much the same, the way I'm feeling, but I'm going to try and pull through it and carry on. I've got a roof over my head, so I'm not complaining about that. But the atmosphere, and when I come in, and what I can hear, whether it's directed at me or not, is not pleasant, right? So it's going to make me feel like shit, right? Me, I don't get back at people. If they're going to be silly and spiteful, I leave them to get on with it, because that is the adult thing to do. What's being done is it's been trying to provoke me, to make out I am an aggressive, nasty person, and I'm not. It's them. They are. And their true colours were shown. So when I first moved in here, and they didn't really speak to me anyway, just kept himself out the way. They spoke to me a couple of times, and then the true colours came out of people. So, you know, I keep myself to myself now, and that's what usually happens to me. People are nice to start with, and then they get jealous, spiteful, and there's no reason to be. I haven't got anything. I'm not special or anything like that. I don't know what it is, and it's been going on all my life, so I'm keeping myself to myself now. Last night I wasn't particularly feeling in a good mood. My mum had called me up, and I just messes with my head. It really does mess with my head, so I'm not answering any phone calls from her today. She gave me a headache yesterday. It's a scripted speech. It's, I know where good girl is coming from, because one of my ex-partners used to say that to me. So she's just acting stupid. So she said, oh, I've been a good girl. She's my mother. So I don't know what she was talking about, and giggling like she was off her head. I want a mum, not a, I don't know what that is, how she's behaving. It's not like a mother at all. So I keep saying to myself, don't answer the phone, don't answer the phone, don't answer the phone, but I've got no one else to speak to. I'm stuck here isolated, and that's the only person I'm speaking to, apart from my son via WhatsApp. So I answered it, didn't I? And I got a massive headache afterwards. Of course I did. Booming loud voice. She said to me, oh, it was me that said you needed your flat cleaned. No, it wasn't. It's my son that made the referral. My mother has not even been to see me in this flat. She's not even come to see me once in this flat. She doesn't know where the flat is. She doesn't know what it looks like. She doesn't know what I'm going through, because Jennifer has never been inside this flat. The only person that to do with my mum that has come remotely near this flat is Sue, her neighbour, in her green car, who dropped my wet washing off. I think it was about 1.5 years ago. She dropped some wet washing off, rang my buzzer and called me Genestra, or Genesta. And my mother's neighbour Sue drove me home once when I couldn't get a taxi, but she didn't come inside the block of flats. She dropped me off outside. So yesterday, I went out. I'd had 2 phone calls from my mother. I went outside, went for a walk. I was feeling like shit. It wasn't too bad, actually. There was a bloke with a big brown and black dog on there coming off the field, but it was on a lead. I walked around the field. I came off. I came into my flat. I wasn't feeling happy. No. I told my son that the social workers had been around. I told them what he said. I don't expect to get emails back from these social workers, not on the same day that they came round. I told him that the doctor had not given me any painkillers for my bad knee, and that all I'd had was knee exercises, which I could have looked up on Google myself. I do think this is menopause related, or it could be an allergy to the cat. Now it sounds funny, but I was looking up cat allergies on the internet, and I'm getting a blocked nose, stinging eyes, pain in my jaw, and I could have an allergy to the cat, because all this has started up since I've had the cat back again. So a cat allergy can cause you great discomfort. It can cause you headaches and pains and breathing difficulties. So it could be the cat, oddly enough. So we'll see. Going back to the doctors in a month's time. You can ask for an allergy test. We'll see. The constant headaches. I mean, now it's summer and he's a male tomcat, and all it could be the cat, because an allergy can make you feel really, really sick, really, really badly ill. And then when that allergen is gone, you feel better. So it may be the cat, because I've got pain all up in my sinuses, my eyes are running, and I'm itching. So it could well be the cat. Anyway, that puts my mind at a bit of relief, because you think it's something serious, you know what I mean? You keep getting all these headaches like every couple of days, but it's happened since the warmer weather's come about, so it possibly could be the cat. He is a male cat, and he's very hairy, and the cat dander, you know, the fur could be making me sick. So we'll deal with that when it happens. I'll go to the doctors and discuss that. Otherwise, Harry will have to get adopted or something like that if it's making me seriously sick. We'll see. Came back into the flat. I don't know. I just felt shit. I tried to concentrate on the television. I put the news on. I was just, there's nothing to cheer us up, is there? There's nothing. The cost of living has gone up. The newspapers have gone up. Bills have gone up. I'd had a letter that my water rates direct debit hadn't gone through. That's £43 a month. Bear in mind, I've got council tax, that's gone up, and I'm not really left with anything. After I've paid my bills, there's really nothing left anymore, so you can't go out and cheer yourself up or anything anymore. You can't. So you're stuck indoors, because, I mean, what they are asking people to pay, entry tickets into events, food, it's absolutely terrible. So I'm sat here day after day on my own. I take my dog out for a walk, like those two ladies said, or at least you take the dog out for a walk. Oh, hand washing is okay, it's just you. There's no one else, you haven't got to wash for anybody else. There you go. I've told them, and I've told everybody else, I won't accept anything else but moving. because it's got to a point where I hate coming back into this flat. Last night it was bad enough. I was feeling depressed, I was feeling low, I don't see or speak to anybody, and those two next door, right, the ones that I'd said this to the social worker. I said there was a couple of times I went under the balcony and next door swore, making out they were swearing at the dog, but it was every time I was walking underneath the balcony. Fuck off, fucking move. Now I told that to the social worker in my flat, right? Those two think it's a game. They're like children and they need to grow up. It's bad enough going outside feeling the way I do without neighbours being stupid and cruel. So I was coming up the stairs with my dog and it was her voice. Fuck off! Inside the flat. Fuck off! Inside the flat. As I was coming up the stairs going into my door. Fuck off! Very spiteful she is. Very spiteful woman. So I came into my flat, right? And I also think these headaches are stress related. I think the headaches are stress related because I'd come through the communal door, come into my flat, and I'd heard her go, fuck off. I came into my flat. It sounds funny, it's laughable, and I really should laugh at it, but I hate this place. Bitch. So I came into my flat. That's the one who accused me of taking photographs of her, and I wouldn't take a photograph of her if he paid me. So I came into the flat, and I got a headache, a massive headache. I had to just rest right above my left eye. I swear it's stress related living here. It's so childish, isn't it? To look out the window, see someone's coming, and then start acting like children. Fuck off! Really unbelievable behaviour from, well, I know she uses hair dye, so she must be over 40. So they've got pets and grandkids, and they behave like children themselves. Fuck off! I don't like some. You see, they won't leave me alone. Just won't stop. Will not leave me alone. Why can't you just leave it? Why can't you just leave it? Leave me alone. Anyway, I never shouted back. I didn't get cross. I completely ignored it. Came into my flat and I had a headache. I told you it's not going to stop until I move out of this flat, and I won't accept anything else. How can I prove that they're doing that to me when they're shouting when I come up into my flat, inside their flat? Fuck off. How can I prove that's done to me? I can't. And they fucking know that. They know that. They can't really come up to me and start abusing me to my face because I'll get the police on them. So they're just a couple of cowards. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
It is shame. I was told this. I went to Catholic school for 10 years. I can assure you.
Well, I can assure you it's not, because I decide that I'm a homosexual and I have sex with who I like. And quite frankly, we need to stop this interfering busybodying about if the Catholic Church.
Freedom of speech, Shane. Freedom of
No,
speech.
there have always been limits to freedom of speech. I can't go into John Lewis or Selfridges and shout on the top of my voice, there's a bomb in here. Of course not. There's always been limits to freedom of speech. You've just given an example earlier of someone standing outside your house a load of abuse. That wouldn't be acceptable as freedom of speech either. This is nothing but interfering busybodies, and I think it's absolutely despicable. It wouldn't be acceptable in America to go back to women having abortions in dangerous and unhygienic conditions, but we are not having it here.
Shane, nicely said. Thank you for that. Now, I'm going to change tack ever so slightly. A couple of years back, I saw this film Dark Waters. Can't recommend it enough, about DuPont Chemicals and Teflon, the forever chemical, and the effects that chemical plant allegedly was having on the local people. Well, Shivani Sharma, LBC's East of England reporter, has a story well, this is the story that inspired my memory of Dark Waters. Shivani, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Matthew, this is all off the back of the 1990s scandal in Corby in Northamptonshire, where there was a toxic waste scandal. There was a 2009 court ruling, which was the first of its kind, which linked toxic atmospheric waste with birth defects. Now, LBC has learned new information. There's a woman called Alison Gaffney, and her son Fraser was born in 2016 in Corby. But at 17 months old, he was diagnosed with a rare type of child cancer. It's B-cell, blood and bone marrow cancer. Now, he needed a bone marrow transplant, and he was given a 5% chance of survival. Now, luckily for the family, he defied those odds, and he's making a good recovery. But Alison started to notice lots of other children all in the same area getting this same type of rare cancer, and it got to the point where she felt this had to be more than just a coincidence.
As we were leaving one day, a consultant casually just said to us, I wonder why there are so many cases from Corby. And then somebody told me about a cluster of children in Corby that lived on the same street, and there was about 6 or 7 of them that were all diagnosed with cancer within this one street. And I just thought, there's got to be something here, possibly.
Now, Matthew, Alison has been asking families in Corby to come forward if their children are in the same boat, and LBC has learnt that more than 40 families have done this. She thinks that there's a link between the high numbers of child cancer in the area and the botched decontamination of a steelworks site in the 1980s and 90s, which resulted in toxic waste seeping into the town. Now, we already know that a High Court judge, as I say, ruled in 2009 that for the first time ever, there was a link between toxic atmospheric waste and birth defects. Netflix has recently retold that story.
Yes, I right.
Toxic Town. Yeah, exactly. And they retold that story of mothers who gave birth to babies in the 90s with hand and foot deformities. Because corners were cut, health regulations weren't followed during that decontamination of the steelworks site. They were literally inhaling toxic orange dust into their lungs. And in the worst case, Tracy Taylor gave birth in 1996 to her baby Shelby Ann Taylor, who sadly didn't survive.
They informed us that Shelby's internal organs were all deformed. Instead of a 4-chamber heart, she had a 2-chamber heart. And her kidneys, liver, lungs were just not formed as they should be. Sadly, she died within 5 minutes in our arms.
Now, Matthew, the council at the time, Corby Borough Council, issued an apology and paid compensation to some of those families. But mothers like Tracy Taylor that you just heard and Maggie Mahon, whose son was born with a clubfoot, believe their stories are just the tip of the iceberg. Now, Des Collins is the lawyer who represented some of those families back in 2009. He's pushing for a public inquiry into this environmental scandal. He thinks there are still unanswered questions, and he thinks that families coming forward now, like Alison Gaffney, could well have a case. Now, Alison is asking families who think they may have been affected to email corbychildhoodcancer@gmail.com. Now, it's worth noting, Matthew, that Corby Borough Council has been taken over by Northamptonshire Council, and LBC has contacted them for a response.
The public inquiry aspect I find slightly concerning, and we just found out that the Hillsborough ambition, that's about to go by the wayside. The public inquiries seem to be synonymous with kicking issues of major national importance into the long grass and actually not coming up with answers. When you see it's already cancer 40 in such a small locale, I mean, this is massive alarm bells should be ringing.
Well, that's right, and I think it was really alarming when she said that 6 or 7 children on the same street had this child cancer. I mean, that just doesn't happen, and of course it's kind of ringing those alarm bells with her, which is why she's trying to gather as much information and data as she can to see, is there a link here? Is this a case that we could bring forward? Very much like the case I said happened in 2009.
I hope anybody affected gets in touch. Shivani Sharma, thank you for that. Gosh. You're listening to me, Matt?
Right guys, it's Saturday. I hope everybody has a great weekend and I'll see you later.